those who know me know full well that I don't only just buy 18th century and 19th century early formal English furniture, I buy right across the board. And one of my passions is I've always admired and love country furniture, whether it's oak or walnut, but as long as it's interesting, and that's always been my forte. And as it happens, when we used to live in Brighton many years ago, our own private collection, we collected 18th and 17th century country furniture. And ironically, now we've moved to Edenbridge in the country, I don't really deal in so much or collect it. But when this piece of furniture came along, it just ticked so many boxes, and I just need to tell you about it because it is a very rare and unusual piece of furniture. It's made around the mid 17th century, so it's about 1650, 1660. And the term is, it's called an oak joined court cupboard. And the word, we get the word joined because when you see these baluster shaped supports, these were often referred to or they were made by joiners. And so these cupboards were often called joined court cupboards. And this particular piece is made in two sections, and it's made of oak and with ebony or ebonized decoration. And it is very, very interesting, and I'm about to show you the reasons why. Now, the piece is actually made in two sections. We have the upper section, this is where the cupboard itself, and then the lower section. The lower section, it stands on the original feet, and you have this very pretty shaped apron, which has no damage at all along the front. And then you have this board, which there you would have put pieces of pewter and candlesticks, etc. Then in the centre, you've got this very large, thick moulding going all the way round. And this moulding actually hides a drawer, very nicely concealed. So you've got a great big moulding here, and say it conceals the drawer. This upper section here, where you have the central cupboard and the two ends are canted, you have geometric mouldings, and amongst the mouldings you have these little panels. These panels are actually fruitwood and they've been ebonized, so you've got the juxtaposition of having the colour of oak, and then you have this dark or black timber. Either side of this door, you've got these very simple turned columns, and just a little line there, just to break up the monotony, but very, very simple indeed. When this is open, there's a single shelf inside, and this retains the original lock. Above the door, you have these interesting mouldings, again, which are fruitwood, and they've been ebonized. Along the frieze, you can see you have to get the light right, but there's a letter H, and there is a letter which I think it could be a J. So whether these were the owners and they became a union, and so they had their initials on them, one never knows. But because often you see court cupboards and they're actually dated. Now, what makes this really special? Along the frieze here, it's known as dentils, and there's all these individual pieces of timber, oak, and they're almost like little teeth, and so we call this a dental cornice moulding. Again, what makes this special is this. The person I bought it from, he pointed out, he said, it's got a secret compartment, and the secret compartment, he believes, were for hiding swords or guns. And it's here. Ingenious. Now, you would never know that was there because there was no areas of locks to hide anything. The only reason why you know it's there, when you look on the back, you can see some hinges. Now, being that this is 17th century, mid-17th century, in my opinion, I don't think this was for hiding guns, swords, or even documents. I actually believe this is a vestment piece. And being Cromwellian period, and Cromwell was a Puritan, and he was anti-Catholic, I believe this was somebody had it, and they held their items for the church, and so their vestments and their cassocks and things like that were hidden in here. And then your alms dishes and candlesticks, etc., would be on the top, and nobody would be the wiser. Now that's just my view, but I've almost convinced myself that's what it was for. I can't believe, because if you've got guns and swords, they will be easy to get to. And this, if there's things on there, it's too complicated. But for